And who is that?
Terence Crawford. That's it. You know, I'm 41-0 for a reason. I gotta have 4 arms. I know. I know. 6 eyes.
Our job is to line it up. And us fighters, we're warriors. We always want to fight the best.
Floyd Mayweather has sent a warning to Crawford amid debates over who would come out on top. Floyd made it clear that this is a caution against chasing something that may never happen. He said Crawford could be chasing a ghost because the Mayweather who ruled the sport retired on his own terms, and he isn't going to let anyone rewrite that story.
Man, me versus anybody, I'm gonna always say me. Okay. Come on now.
Floyd told Smith that boxing isn't just about who's stronger in the moment. It's about who controlled the stage when it counted. In his view, Crawford asking for a fight now, in his mid-30s, comes too late. This was a matchup that should have been made when it could have drawn the biggest numbers.
Who do you think wins in a fight, you or Prime Floyd?
Me.
No questions?
Why would you think that I would say Floyd? You know, that's one of my favorite fighters. But yeah, nah.
That message came during a heated debate on Stephen A. Smith's platform, where Floyd faced off with Crawford in a rare back and forth that immediately grabbed the boxing world's attention. Mayweather stayed calm, but his words carried weight. He essentially told Crawford, "You can win all you want, even beat the guys I never fought, but you're not rewriting my history." In doing so, Floyd highlighted his own era while also reminding Crawford that he arrived too late to share the spotlight in the ring.
I don't want to lose. I don't want to lose because now society has shaped things to where if a fighter lose, they talk so bad about, oh, he's a bum. I knew he was overrated. Oh, y'all hyped him up, and now they got to hear it. But back in the day, they didn't have social media. You know what I mean? So all that wasn't in their face.
But this isn't just two fighters talking past each other. It's a debate fans, fighters, and analysts are weighing in on from all sides. Even current fighters like Ryan Garcia have joined the conversation, adding fuel to the discussion. Garcia, who's never shy about speaking his mind, had pointed words for Mayweather during a recent segment on Ring Magazine's Inside the Ring. When former NFL running back LeSean McCoy said nobody changed the game like Floyd, Garcia interrupted with, in a bad way. He argued that Floyd didn't just dominate in the ring, he mastered timing and the business side of boxing. Garcia claimed Floyd picked opponents when it suited him, often waiting until fighters like Pacquiao or Cotto were past their prime. He never fought anybody really in their prime, Garcia said, arguing that Floyd's perfect record owed as much to perfect matchmaking as perfect fighting. For Garcia, that approach changed boxing, with fighters afterward more focused on protecting their record than taking on the toughest challenges.
Everybody acting like Bud is the second coming of Mayweather. Y'all got the game fucked up. Mayweather actually didn't get hit. Bud gets hit by dudes that, like, who on Bud's resume is an equivalent of someone on Floyd's resume? So that's it right there. You know what I'm saying? Like, Floyd not getting hit by elites, Bud getting hit by non-elites, and somehow y'all think Canelo not about to touch.
That's where Max Kellerman stepped in with his perspective. Known as one of boxing's sharpest commentators, he explained why Crawford could have a stronger case for legacy than Floyd, depending on how you look at it. Kellerman pointed out that Floyd carefully chose when and whom he fought, especially after leaving lightweight. Even though his resume has bigger names, people remember he avoided certain opponents at certain times, Kellerman said. Crawford, on the other hand, wanted it with everyone the whole time, even if his resume is a bit thinner in some ways. That matters to people.
Floyd versus Triple G. Listen, man, Floyd didn't fight him, and Floyd is an all-time great. But what a missed opportunity. You got Crawford going from 135 and talking about fighting Canelo at 168. It's kind of the same.
And that's the key debate, resume versus intent. Mayweather's record is full of big names, De La Hoya, Pacquiao, Cotto, Hatton, Marquez, Mosley, Gatti, Corrales, and more. But critics like Garcia and Kellerman argue that timing lessened the impact of those wins. Pacquiao was past his peak in 2015, Mosley was 38 after a long layoff, Cotto had taken heavy damage, and Canelo fought at a catchweight at just 23. Floyd still won all those bouts, but for his critics, the asterisk never fully goes away.
Looking back at like Floyd's career, like him coming up in the era that he came up in, he had all them champions that he was able to fight, and that's what led him to be so great, you know, because he fought the most champions, beat the most champions, you know, got the most money for beating the most champions. So it's just like, man, he had this guy.
On the other hand, Crawford's list of opponents isn't as stacked, but the context is very different. He didn't worry about timing. He fought Shawn Porter when Porter was still a serious challenge, dismantled Errol Spence at 35, and stunned the world by beating Canelo Alvarez at super middleweight. Crawford's issue wasn't avoiding fights, it was that promoters and networks avoided him. As a high-risk, low-reward fighter under top rank, he spent years chasing marquee matchups that never happened. By the time he finally got his shot against Spence, he was already well into his 30s.
We already know, we knew Crawford is a great fighter, and I did what I supposed to do, right? I tried for every way, and I trained really hard, and he deserved all the credit. No, I try my best tonight, and I just cannot figure out the style.
Was it something specific, the movement or his speed?
Now Crawford, 38, is undefeated at 4-2-0 with undisputed titles in 3 weight classes and a list of notable wins including Gamboa, Postal, Jeff Horn, Porter, Spence, and Alvarez. Compared to Mayweather's 50 wins, the numbers favor Floyd. 8 fewer victories may not seem like much, but in legacy discussions, every win matters. Still, Crawford holds a card Floyd never played, moving into a 6th weight class. If he drops to middleweight and wins a belt, he'll achieve something Mayweather never attempted. Floyd stopped at 154 pounds. He made plenty of history there, but he never chased 6 divisions. Crawford's drive to take on bigger challenges could be the factor that shifts the debate.
Floyd had a lot of craft that mimicked some of the things that Sugar Ray did. So does Terence. And Terence is psychologically a latter-day Sugar Ray Robinson. He has the same kind of capacity to be charming and then in the next 30 seconds to turn on his fire. And that, I think, is part of what he's going to take into the ring against Canelo.
Ooh.
The timing of their careers adds another layer to the debate. Crawford won his first world title in 2014, just a year before Floyd beat Pacquiao and then Andre Berto to finish his run. Their overlap was brief, but it existed. If Floyd had stayed active, a fight could have happened, but by then, he was protecting his legacy, not chasing new challenges. That's exactly what he was saying on Stephen A. Smith's show, Don't Ask Me Now. If the fight was going to happen, it would have been when the money was biggest and interest at its peak. That moment has passed, and so have the what-ifs. Crawford's wins today don't retroactively pull Floyd back into the ring.
The funny thing about it is Terence has been the only other guy that people can say he always figures it out.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, that's true. But you gotta have an OG somewhere.
Anybody else? Yeah,
there's an OG
somebody
somewhere.
Somebody got to
pioneer, right? Yeah, you got There's an OG you can't out-figure out somewhere. And I just believe Floyd is that OG you can't out-figure out.
That hasn't stopped fans from imagining a head-to-head clash. Mayweather at 147 was a defensive genius, nearly impossible to hit clean, and skilled at breaking opponents down round by round. He went 1-2-0 at welterweight from ages 28 to 38, dominating the division for a decade. Crawford at 147 was more explosive, a switch hitter with knockout power and a naturally aggressive edge. He went 8-0 over 5 years, finishing most of his opponents decisively. Crawford is taller, longer, and more versatile with his stance and style.
So were you surprised that, Crawford wasn't running from him? He was very confident that he could stand there and trade, a lot of times with Canelo.
Crawford fought a brilliant fight. He stayed at the right range. He didn't engage with Canelo when Canelo was trying to get him to engage with him. And he took control of the fight. He did what he wanted to do.
In a hypothetical matchup, Crawford's size and aggression would have challenged Floyd's defense like few others ever did. Some fans compare it to Paul Williams, another tall, high-volume welterweight, who was considered a tough matchup for Floyd, which is partly why that fight never happened. Add Crawford's adaptability and southpaw power, and it's easy to see why many believe Floyd might have truly had to work to protect his perfect record.
Since Bud's so strong, that's what I said. Why are you talking about 54? None of them dudes gonna get you up. If you truly beat Canelo, why not be the greatest fighter in the existence of boxing? Like, Bivol was the only dude to beat 2 undisputed active champions. Like, he beat Canelo as an undisputed champion, and he beat Better Beef as an undisputed champion. Bivol, historically, might go down as one of the greatest to ever do it. If you beat Bivol and you beat Canelo, Crawford might have surpassed TBE.
But Mayweather's supporters argue that his style was built to neutralize aggression. He wasn't just fast and slick, he was precise. He didn't need to throw 70 punches, landing the right 25 and making his opponent miss 50 was enough. Against Crawford, who shifts momentum mid-fight, Floyd might have found ways to frustrate him just like he did with Canelo in 2013 or shut down Ricky Hatton's pressure in 2007. There's also the matter of stage control. Floyd was the pay-per-view king, able to dominate entire weekends with his fights. Crawford, even after beating Spence and Canelo, never reached that level. Floyd's power wasn't just skill, it was the ability to dictate when, where, and how fights happened. Crawford, despite his greatness, didn't have that. But if this fight ever happened, who do you think would win? Share your thoughts below and subscribe for more updates.